For those of us who do not know who are you and what do you do?
We are Thru It All, and we're a rock and roll band.
My name is Daniel, and I play guitar and sing.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Andrew. I play the drums.
Yes.
Where are you from?
We're from Oklahoma, Tahlequah.
How was each of your childhoods growing up there?
I was in Tampa, Florida. I moved to Tahlequah about 12 years ago. So these guys are actually like best friends since they were little. And I'm younger than them too. So I just happened to join. And this is the story between those two, how it all started too. So
It goes way back, dude, to the basement. Learning how to record music in the basement. We had like a Dell PC or something, and we just like made it work with a chat room mic, and we were like making tracks in the basement at like 11, 12. We started.
Shout out Cakewalk.
Cakewalk was the program. That's wild.
Tell us about how you guys came up with the band name, Thru It All.
I think the best way is for you to explain stuff. It's like,
You want me to do this one?
Dude, I need you.
Daniel and I were sitting at our local pub in our hometown, and we just had like a bunch of names written down, and we're like, that one's not taken, so that works, dude. And we had the logo drawn up and like banners and stuff made before we even decided really like what looks cool as like a branding thing or whatever, so it was cool.
But also too, the meaning of the name is through all that y'all been through since the childhood. You
Yeah.
moved for 12 years to LA. So there's definitely like a pretty cool little hidden meaning behind it for those guys.
Yeah, that's kind of part of it too. Like, came back full circle and started this band up again, and yeah, whole new era.
Tell us about the first time you performed in front of an audience.
We played this little pizza place in our hometown called Pizza by Minuch. And he had this back room that he didn't really use, and it was a pretty big room, so he let us have a show there, and we packed it out. And we had like one strobe light in this whole room.
And no other lights.
No other lights. And then we smashed a guitar and signed pieces of it for everybody, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, he was basically like, you guys can play in there, but you got to like organize and clean the whole room and make space. So like it was his way of like, yeah, you can play there, but I'll get my back room organized. But it was cool for us because there was no music venue or anywhere like that. So to have a spot that we could kind of DIY and turn into our own like music venue, we thought we fully made it when we played Pizza by Minuch. Like that was like the most rock star thing ever. I think our guitarist walked out across like some old junk, like a bunch of piled up like tables and stuff, like as if it was like a stage catwalk thing. We're like 13 maybe at this time. He walks out with like he had like a whole wireless rig and stuff. Like he was like doing this epic entrance, but like walking across like fold out tables. It was ridiculous.
We broke a salad bar for moshing.
Let me guess, there's been no shows at Pizza by Minuch since.
I don't know. He was always down, dude, because everyone bought pizza. So yeah, we need to bring that back. We need to do something.
Show was in Tampa, Florida at an outside park, and I was 13. Nothing special there. Just out at a park, bro. Yep, local park. We set up a show in the tennis courts. That's where I played.
We used to set up we bought our own PA when we were like 14, and we used to set it up in like any parking lot we could find. Yeah. And then we just play and tell everyone to show up. All the like locals would show up, and then we just play till the cops shut it down.
And the cops would be like, hey guys, it sounds really good. Sorry, but you can't play anymore.
And we're like, okay.
Separating yourselves from the group, can each of you tell us about how you found that love for music? Like, how did you know? Tell us about that moment when you said to yourself, I have to be a musician. I want this as my career. This is how I want to live my life.
I guess for me, it was my father because he did the whole music thing. He's a music educator. He's was even my college professor, drum teacher growing up and everything. And hearing all of his crazy stories, you guys heard some of the stories when we were just in Boston, hearing all these different things and watching him play growing up, doing all these different gigs, whether it's rock band stuff, musical theater gigs, getting paid to play. That was always pretty important. And so I think I was in middle school and there's been several times where it's just like, okay, this definitely is reinforcing that I want to do. So I give a lot of credit to my father for sure.
Dope, dude. Yeah. I think, I don't know. Once I started, I just never looked back. Like I got drums at like 11, 12. And I just was like, I think we played a show at like 12, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, there's nothing that makes sense. Like, it was just the only thing that ever made sense for me to focus on personally. I never even really like had a second thought. I've just, ever since then, I've just nonstop. Just what I love to do.
Yeah, I think when bands like Blink-182 and Green Day dropped, the self-titled Blink album and American Idiot, for me, I was just like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah.
What sacrifices have you had to make in order to pursue this career?
Oh, dude.
God, weddings, funerals. A lot of people are upset with me, but a lot of people are starting to be understanding. I've missed a lot of things. I'll say that. A lot.
Yeah, I mean, being in a band is insane, really. I mean, like, traveling for this long, like, just sucking it up and making things happen with no sleep or whatever. It's crazy. You got to sacrifice a lot. I mean, 12 years in Los Angeles, sleeping on couches and stuff for the first 5 years or whatever, just, like, trying to figure it out and make enough money to be there, and, like, being on tours and Warped Tour and sleeping in vans, and it's been like a long road. It's been a really long road. There's a lot of sacrifices if you want to really do it full time and not just like kind of do it, mess around and do it as a hobby, you know?
Yeah, a lot of your time and your money and your relationships you got to put on the back burner to do this. But it's worth it. It's fun.
Yeah, I think any real artist will know that there's a lot of years, maybe if you're lucky, it's less time, but years of like doing stuff with almost no return. And you're like, what the heck am I doing, dude? Like,
With no return, you still have to put it the priority over everything else.
yeah, you just have, it has to be deeper. It has to be deeper than that. And you have to have a circle of people around you that understand that, because it seems pretty insane if like, to the average person. So yeah, a lot of sacrifice, but it all works out and it's all super dope in the end. And you got so many good stories to tell. You've inspired people. So there's so much good that comes from it.
Yeah, what he said.
Word.
What do each of you bring to the group? Like, in your backgrounds, what did you do or what did you experience that allows you to enhance the group?
I mean, I'm the best. No, I mean, I learned a lot in LA, like a lot of music industry stuff, a lot from touring and previous bands. I think I bring a lot to the table as far as like knowledge of like how to guide this group sometimes and what direction to go and how to make some things happen. I think I bring a lot of that to the table. Daniel and I's voices are really different, so I would say like he hits notes that I can't hit, like, and we blend everything together. There's a lot. I mean, what would you say?
Yeah, just our differences, I think, musically, like we mesh it together really well.
Yeah, what one of us can't do, it gets covered in the end. So
I'm the young one in the band, so I bring that youth and that energy, baby.
yeah.
If somehow you could see your future and you saw that you didn't make a dime, a significant amount of money, or you didn't, or music wasn't your main source of income, if you could see that in your future today, would you still be doing music today?
Thankfully, you can't see the future, but I like the mystery. I like the process. I think like yes. I think like even without it, like it's deeper than that anyway. I mean that would be rough, but yeah, it's deeper than that for sure.
Yeah, I think if I could see the future, I would stick forks in my eyeballs.
Well, kind of like Nick said too. I mean, it's like we do this for the love of music, and it's almost like just like asking like a professional athlete, like, would you still be working this hard, doing all these sacrifices, everything growing up through school, if you knew that maybe you wouldn't make it when everybody said that maybe you would? It's like, you know what? Even if maybe you could see that a little bit, I would almost look at that like, let's change it then. Like
Create
I
it.
bet you we could. So if we knew that ahead of time, maybe we'd be able to change it. So it's like no matter what, no, I think we'd still do it. At least me personally.
Yeah.
Defy it.
So after 26 shows, 15 states, your last show was here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. tonight. How have each of you grown since you started this tour?
Patience.
Lots of patience. We've been traveling in a Prius with hardly any room. I mean, you know, we were staying in kind of rough places sometimes, but we've had our head up high. I mean, there hasn't been blowouts, fights. I mean, we still love each other after 30 days. My dad called me yesterday talking to me, and he was like, "Do you guys hate each other yet?" Because that's what he expected, you know, because that's what happened with him back in the day with all his band. And I was like, no, we've done really, really well. And we just kept our head down. If there wasn't some great shows or some great outcomes, we just, you know, move on to the next one, and then boom, and it's worth it. So, yeah.
It's been crazy. It's been awesome.
I think I've run out of patience. I've run out of money, but my hair has grown significantly since we left. And it's been nice.
Looks great, dude.
Thank you.
Nick and I are going to be the positive ones today. I still got patience.
Daniel said right when we pulled up that he has a massage and a mani-pedi booked, so he's ready for that.
So ready for that.
Yep.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I mean, obviously, like, you want to,
Greatest rock band of all time.
right, you want to be the greatest, you want to be able to do it for a living, but really just to inspire other people. It's cool, like, when we've seen, like, other younger bands that we played shows with or whatever, and they come up to us, or fans that are coming up to us saying, like, even on this tour, you guys inspired me to be in a band or to do this, or that we have a chance. And so,
Most inspirational, greatest rock band of all time.
Other generations of musicians, for sure. I think that's the biggest goal, right?
Greatest of all time.
there needs to be more bands, more shows, more everything, more music.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to upcoming musicians, independent local musicians? What advice would you give to them?
There's a lot. I actually want to manage a band one day and help them skip a lot of stuff, but
I would just say, ask yourself, and maybe the people that you're considering to be in the band or the group with, what do you want out of it, truly? Because if you just want to tour every once in a while, do some weekend runs and just have fun, there's no shame in that, or just being an internet band and not playing shows because everybody's got families or jobs. But, you know, for us specifically, you had to ask, what do we want from this? So that's what I'd tell a lot of the bands. Sit down, think about what you want. Of course, everybody wants to be a rock star. Everybody wants to, you know, do this for a living. But once you talk, you know, when we're talking about sacrifices and everything, once those realities come in, you start to realize, like, oh man, why would anybody do this? So you just got to ask yourself, what do you want from it? And I think that will kind of help you guide that. And if you find that motivation, and you're doing what we're doing.
yeah.
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 I guess I said it perfectly, baby.
Word.
Tell us your why. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you pursuing music? Is it because of your love for music, or is it something else driving you?
Music and art and expression are the only thing really that I've found that, like, feels like you truly are cultivating something out of the just universal energy. Like, you're like making something that's truly unique and you're expressing it, and it's just, to me, on that level, just like the only thing that's ever made sense to focus on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been my whole life. I feel like it's a huge part of my identity. If I didn't have music, I don't know what I'd be doing. So this is why I put my whole heart into it.
This is all I've really ever known. So, and I think I can speak for these other guys. If for some reason we weren't in a band right now, all of the rest of us would still be playing music.
Yeah.
Right?
Doing something, yeah. So I wouldn't have stopped.
Got to create. Just can't stop creating.
How strong of a hold does music have on you? Do you ever see yourself doing anything else?
I don't think so.
It's hard. I mean, you know, like, I've got a career now doing something else, but everything that I've been thinking of is like, this is temporary until music takes over completely full time. Obviously, if it doesn't full time pay the bills, it'll still be full time in my life. I mean, I could never not have it or be playing. So,
Yeah, I mean, music, art, any kind of art, clothing, anything creative, that's what I'll always do.
I might get into training quarter horses later in my life, but that's kind of on the horizon. So for now, we're rocking.
Yeah.
so that's new information.
Do you have a story that you could tell us, a short story, brief story that you could tell us about anything that happened during the tour?
Which specific thing, dude? Andrew slid down right before our last interview in Pennsylvania somewhere. Andrew slid down about 30 stairs. Right behind the couch.
Not just slip, they're being nice. It was like out of a cartoon. I slipped up like a banana peel, slammed down. I have a broken hand, by the way, so I'm like.
We're like, dude, you only have one hand. You're our drummer. You got to save the other one, bro.
It was in front of everybody. Yeah.
That was funny.
I rolled down 30 stairs. I mean, it was crazy. Hilarious.
I don't know. There's a lot.
Do you guys have any new music that you're thinking about working on once this tour ends?
Yeah, man. We just dropped one 3 weeks ago called Paradise. And then next Friday, March 29th, we've got the next single called Delusional. And then we've got a single probably every month this year. That's what we're aiming for. So we've got a lot in the works. So we're just going to keep it going.
That's one of the main
Full
things
speed
about
ahead.
This band is making a lot of music. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
If people want to get in contact with you, how would they?
ThruItAllBand.com.
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube Music. We're on X.
Yeah.
I mean Twitter.
Yeah. Thru It All, THRU. You can type it in and find us wherever.
Hit us up personally too. We're friendly guys.
We're on there all the time.
Yeah. Hit us up.
What's up?